Despite what a lot of people think, you can make a lot of money from a YouTube channel with very few subscribers. Don't believe me? Well, I made over $100,000 in the first month after launching an information product to an audience of only 12,000 subscribers. Today I want to show you exactly how that works. I want to take a few minutes to really outline what this can look like. I'm showing right here the first tier of information products, but first let me explain a little bit about what this is. An information product is when you package up information of any sort and then you sell that to your audience. You might wonder, why would anybody pay for information when there's so much available for free on YouTube? And yet people are doing it every day. You've got people that are subscribing to Patreon, people subscribing to YouTube memberships. You have people buying courses and ebooks and all sorts of information products online. And the reason people are doing that is because the information that you package up is somehow more valuable to them than taking the time to go and find all the information that they'll probably need in all sorts of different places. You see, most people don't know what they don't know, and so they don't necessarily know what questions to ask to get the information they want. And if you can provide information that solves a problem for them, either typically a problem of time, saving them time, or two, money, saving them money or making them more money, you have a really good information product that could potentially earn you a great income because it provides a lot of value to people that watch your channel. We're going to talk about exactly how that happens, but first I want to dive into the first tier of information products. This kind of information product can be used by basically anybody, no matter what type of channel they have. We're going to keep our naming convention very simple. We're going to call this first tier the easy tier of information products. These information products are really easy to create, which is really awesome, because putting a ton of work into creating a new information product when you don't yet know what's going to work well with your audience is probably not going to be worth your time. If you start with something really easy to create, then you're going to be able to start to get a feel for what works well with your audience, and you are probably going to end up adjusting and adapting this information product quite a few times before you're really ready to create something at a higher tier. These kind of information products often look like an ebook. Sometimes they can be a very simple downloadable file, a template of some kind. It could be a very simple training course, just something that doesn't take you a lot to create, but has a few of these specific properties. First, it should be low cost. We want to sell something that doesn't cost people very much because the friction is going to be very, very small. Before launching the information product that I mentioned at the beginning of this video, we started by creating a very inexpensive audio guide for podcasters. It cost $14.99. We might have even started out by selling it for $9.99. And honestly, it was probably more product than we should have given away at that price. But it was a very low cost and very easy product for us to create. It took us a few hours to put together the audio files and we were done. Something about this is it needs to be a kind of product that allows you to very easily enter this information product space. So like I said before, it should be really easy for you to create. And as a result of that, it's not going to be very hard for you to go from where you are now to having this sort of an information product. It should be a product that you create to be good enough. We're not talking about creating something ultra exceptional. We're not talking about creating something that's going to completely change somebody's life. Usually we're talking about something that solves a very simple problem. What I love about these kinds of information products is that they're the most passive. For some of your channels, this may be the only tier of information product you ever create because it's the one that makes the most sense. And if you don't want to have to run a business with a lot of customer support, with interaction, a community, all those sorts of things, chances are you're going to want to stick with an easy or maybe medium tier information product. Now, one of the big and most important things that you need to understand with this tier of information product is that it needs to solve a simple or inexpensive problem. If somebody has a very simple problem that they want solved and they go to the web and they find an information product that's really, really advanced and awesome and it costs them $300, they're never going to pay for it no matter how good that product is because the problem that it solves for them is very simple. Or it's a problem that's not very expensive for them to continue having that problem. That makes sense. You see, people buy information when that information helps them to overcome some obstacle in their life. That obstacle could be something as simple as getting better at a new hobby. It could be something like being more entertained. You know, people buy information in the form of entertainment all the time. Just make sure that if you're solving a very simple or inexpensive problem for someone, that you're doing it with a low cost, easy to create information product. Let's talk some examples. Some are kind of obvious. I've told you that ebooks, they make a lot of sense for a lot of really instructional YouTube channels. If there's a hobby that you're participating in, even if your channel is kind of in the entertainment space, but you're doing dirt biking, it's pretty easy to put together an information product. We had a dirt biking website and YouTube channel, and we sold a garage manual that was essentially sort of a maintenance guide for dirt bikes, and it was like 10 or 15 bucks. If you're in the education space or something involving children, downloadable printables are something that can be very inexpensive that you can sell a whole packet for a couple of dollars. What's amazing about this is you can sell this 10 times, 100 times, or 100,000 times, and the cost to you is essentially the same. All of the income that you generate is 100% for you. But I often get the question, what if I'm a vlog channel? I don't really have a topic. People just kind of follow me. Or what if I'm a gamer? People like to watch me play games. For a lot of this kind of content, really heavy entertainment content that doesn't have a specific topic, or vlog kind of content, what oftentimes people are willing to pay for is more connection and more behind the scenes. Some people who are gamers can easily sell an information product about talking about their setup. Other people want to learn how to do that, so you could teach them how to do that very easily. Same thing with vloggers. You could create information products about how to become a successful vlogger yourself. That works, but for the most part, I'd put those into higher tiers. Where would I start if I were a gamer or a vlogger? I'd start with a YouTube membership or a Patreon or something like that, where people can pay a couple dollars a month to have access to behind the scenes content, additional content, stuff that is extra special and just for them. The reason that this works so well is that if you have a vlog channel, people are there for you. They're not necessarily just there for the information. So start simple. Starts with something in the easy tier, something that doesn't cost a whole lot of money, anywhere from about $1 to maybe $20, and that's going to be a great place for basically any YouTube channel to start. Now we're going to level up a little, so it's time to turn on the lights. It wasn't just because I forgot to do that before I started. All right, next we're going to talk about the medium tier. This is going to start to make a lot of sense, but I want to make sure I give you some really good examples. At this tier, I'm going to start at the bottom, where what we're doing is we're creating an information product that solves a bigger problem. This is a place where we're going to have to match the pricing as well as the complexity of our information product to the problem that we're solving. If the problem that we're solving is teaching someone how to play disc golf, teaching them the rules of the game and teaching them how they can throw the driver farther, well, that's a problem that if someone's looking to try to go pro someday, maybe they're willing to pay a lot of money, but most people are probably only going to pay $10, $20, $30 maybe to learn how to do that well. But if you were a professional disc golf player, then at that point you could potentially offer a higher tier information product, something here maybe in the medium or maybe even high tier, but that was geared toward those people that are looking to compete at a higher level. The same goes for a lot of hobbies. You might wonder, yeah, but how much money are people willing to put into, again, learning something about dirt biking? Well, learning how to maintain their own bike, maybe not a ton of money, right? But if you can help somebody to save a lot of money on buying a dirt bike, if you can help somebody save a lot of time on learning how to ride a dirt bike, you may be solving a bigger problem than you think. And the pricing that you could command for that would go well beyond the $20 range. Oftentimes, products in this range are going to be anywhere from $20 to $200 or even $300. Now, a couple criteria for this medium tier information product is usually some kind of a course or a bundle. So we talked about some of these simpler and lower cost information products. Oftentimes what we'll do is we'll put together some kind of a course, but then we'll take some of these kind of low cost items, some of the downloadables, some of the worksheets, even some like tools, very, very simple tools, like a spreadsheet that does a lot of calculations for you. And we'll package those together with the course that you use them for. And now we have a nice bundle that's worth a lot more than if somebody were just getting an ebook where they kind of have to figure all that stuff out for themselves. Again, in the information space, this seems really easy, but we see this kind of thing working everywhere. If you have a successful gaming channel, there's absolutely no reason why you wouldn't package up some sort of a nice bundle That includes helpful content that teaches people, again, how to become a gaming YouTuber, teaching them how to stream and just how to make everything look better, what sort of equipment they need. Some of that is going to be available for free on the internet. That's the thing everybody always says. They can find this information for free, but they don't know what questions to ask. And so they have to piece together a whole bunch of different videos from your channel, where instead you can lay it out for them in a step-by-step manner, and suddenly, boom, it's very, very clear. You've just saved them how many hours that it would have taken for them to figure this all out, even with the free content they can find online. That time savings is the value that you're creating by putting it all together in a very simple, step-by-step, easy-to-follow manner. Try it. It's going to work better than you probably think it will. The next criterion is we treat this usually as a valuable one-time purchase. I'm typically not wanting to create some sort of a subscription, with the exception of, like we talked about for the easy products, kind of a behind-the-scenes Patreon or YouTube membership sort of a thing. Something like that works pretty well because it's all sort of handled in-house through YouTube or through Patreon. I probably wouldn't create my own subscription on my own website where I have to manage the whole community and everything. There's a lot that starts to go into that, and it's a lot more work, making it a lot less passive. You have to bring in a lot more income at that level because you're now probably going to have to start paying people to help maintain that sort of a membership. That's why we push that toward the upper tier. Here, I'm typically doing mostly one-time purchase sort of things. But even so, it's probably not going to ever be able to be totally passive. Once you start selling something at these little bit higher price levels, people get a little more picky about what they get. And you're probably going to start getting some complaints. You're going to get a lot of questions via email. And having a virtual assistant, someone that you can bring on just part-time, usually kind of in a contractor sort of role, who can handle your email and who can respond to those questions, who can take care of, you can create rules, right? You can say, based upon this sort of a rule, if these conditions apply, go ahead and give them a refund and we'll just move on. If these conditions apply, then don't just try to help them through these specific support steps. It's one of the very first things we did back when we were selling our sort of medium tier product, which was when we created a course that was a one-off purchase. We included a 60-day email support, but beyond that, that was it. We were done. It was over. But we hired a virtual assistant to be able to handle those billing issues, as well as to be able to respond to some of those most common questions that we were getting day after day after day. Notice that my experience started with a very easy product, went to one of these medium tier products before ever getting into a big membership. By working through those steps, I learned so much, and I learned a lot about what people needed and what information was missing from my course. And that way, by the time I had a high tier product, those common questions that were being asked basically by every single person, we were answering those in the course content. And it made the launch of that really awesome membership go incredibly well. Okay, now let's talk about the hard tier. The hard tier is one that's going to work really well for channels that have some sort of an informational angle. If there's any teaching going on your channel, this is going to usually work really well. It's also going to potentially work really well for people who are talking about different hobbies or lifestyle type topics, where there's a lot of people who are wanting to learn more about whatever that lifestyle is. With that, I mean, I'm talking about all sorts of things. I'm talking about things like homesteading and gardening. I'm talking about things like tiny homes. I'm talking about things where people who, maybe have a sort of normal or kind of average lifestyle and who want to get more into something that's totally different. And there are a lot of things that are different about that. If you have a channel where it's even kind of vlog style, and you're just kind of in that lifestyle, and that's just something that they participate in by watching you, well, here is where you can have the opportunity to teach them what they need to know to be able to get into that lifestyle. It's amazing. With this, we're solving bigger problems and we're solving more custom problems. By that I mean, there's usually going to be some sort of a system that's going to work really well for most people. They're going to be able to, if they follow that system, they're going to be able to get into it. But because every person is different and every person is coming from a different place, a different background, maybe a different level of understanding, the problems they're going to run into are going to be more custom. This is where there's a lot of value in having ongoing support. And there's usually going to be lots of support with this kind of an information product. These usually look like courses, but that also contain some sort of a membership or subscription. There's usually some sort of community engagement involved as well, which can be a great way to handle a lot of the custom questions that people have. What we do with Project 24 is we have the course structure, right? There's the YouTube system, there's a blogging system, and people work through those step by step. But people regularly have questions. So we have a support community. In that community, as members ask questions, other members, as well as we, the staff of Income School, are participating in answering those questions and just providing guidance based upon our own experience. We're also providing a regular podcast 3 times a month about YouTube and 3 times a month about blogging, answering a lot of the questions that come up in the community, highlighting members who have done really well, etc. And then we have regular, what we call masterminds. This sounds like I'm trying to sell Project 24. I'm not. I'm just using it as an example. But we have these regular masterminds where we choose a topic based upon what members are talking about, what they need. And then we're literally setting up live time where someone from our team goes live with a group of people and we have a discussion, we answer questions. So we're able to solve bigger and more custom problems. And because there's this ongoing value, we're getting an ongoing income. People, in order to be able to participate in that kind of stuff, are understanding of the fact that they have to keep paying for it. You can't just pay a one-time fee and have lifetime support in these sorts of things because there's a cost associated with them. And it's a beautiful thing when you can create this sort of ongoing value and solve these bigger problems for people, save them so much more time, save them so much more money, help them make more money. When you do that, you're in a much better position to be able to earn this ongoing income, which helps to stabilize your business. A lot of us with YouTube channels, with blogs, we're gonna have kind of this up and down seasonality. You're gonna go through some years that are really good because your topic is trending, and other years your topic is just not quite as popular, and it's just gonna be up and down. But if you can create an ongoing income by leveling up to this tier of information product, this is where you can make so much more money. It was this tier of information product, after working for about 1.5 years through an easy tier information product and a medium tier information product, that my partner at the time, my business partner, and I created Project 24 and launched it. And in the first 30 days of Project 24, we made over $100,000 and continued to make over $30,000 a month, and then grew and grew and grew to the point where $100,000 a month is kind of an average month with Project 24. That's pretty incredible. And you can do something like that yourself in whatever niche, whatever topic you have for your YouTube channel. Just work through this. Find an easy tier problem that you can solve for people and then solve it for them. Even if you think the content is redundant from what's out there for free, package it up, put it together, and launch that easy information product and see what happens. If you have a fairly large audience or get lots of views because you have kind of an entertainment or highly spreadable topic on your channel, selling a bunch of $2 or $5 information products could make you a huge income, much more than you're making from ads or even from recommending some affiliate products and maybe getting some sponsorships. Try it out, I dare you, and let me know what happens. If you're already doing something like this, let me know in the comments below, or if you have ideas or questions about information products, I'd love to be able to answer them. Comment below, and we'll hope to see you in the next video.